is from Austin to Mart. What do you guys think?
I agree with you on that. I don't know about the criticism.
Got plenty of room to build the capital.
They sure go right.
First of all, Mart, when it comes to football, in this market, and we cover it, I hope, as well as you could possibly imagine, and we could always do more, and we are always looking at different ways of doing more. Last year, I went back and I did a research of how many different interviews we had from the various high schools, from not just the weekly segments, but one school, and how many we had more as far as players, and Mart was in the top 3. And they should be. They played for another state championship, but I was still stunned that they did not win that game in the championship game. But as far as the city, the capital of Texas, Mart, that's fine with me. Kevin Hoffman should be the governor.
Yeah, look, Austin's had the capital long enough, and based on the last couple weeks or months, they're not wrecking shop. Let's just say it. So
Mart's been the most successful 2A team in the last 5 years, probably the last 8 or 10 or 12 years, and of course they're in the conversation for many, many years back into the days of even before the late 90s when they made that another great run. No, we love Mart. I was there. I remember last football season, I went over there and I interviewed Kevin Hoffman as well, and their brand new facilities, what they've done with their bond election and what they've done to that new school and what they've done to the stadium, and they're going to do even more. Man, that place is going, and we love Mart, Texas. Thanks for the call. Appreciate your time. Yeah, I think 6-6. I'll take that, 6-6. I'm not one of those that's ever too optimistic. And if anything, I'm usually one that kind of like tempers my enthusiasm. And I don't know what the enthusiasm would be. Perhaps it's Grimes and it's Mateos and it's also breath of fresh air in certain ways. That defense does appear to be what could be very, very special. There's no question about it. And that's the only way they would, to me, get more than 6 wins in a year. The defense is going to help them win 4 to 5 or 6 games alone. The offense, can they come up with them outscoring somebody on the 1 or 2 times the defense can't keep up? Can they then win a game or 2 with what they're doing with Jeff Grimes and company?
I did this, I think, something similar last week. But, all right, you beat Kansas last year to start the year, 47-14. All right, so that's about what could be expected. But I think that having that as the first game, I don't know why Kansas keeps ending up at the front half of the schedule. Like, they played them almost the first game like 3 years in a row.
Cowboys and Giants.
Yeah, but Baylor, Kansas. Let's make that Cowboys Giants. Woo! But you beat the dog mess out of them and probably messed up people's expectations as a result of that, because your first game and you're winning by 33 points.
Yeah.
But then after that, let's look at these offensive outputs. 21 points in a 27-21 double overtime loss to West Virginia.
Yeah.
16 points in a 27-16 loss to Texas.
In a game that was there for, I don't want to say there for the taking, but that game, a play or 2 anywhere offensively in that game.
Texas,
and they gave up like 3 long plays. That game, honestly, they had a chance.
Texas wasn't lighting them up.
Not at the time. No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
So 21 points in a double overtime loss in Morgantown. 16 points in Austin to lose 27-16. 23 points against TCU in a 10-point loss in Waco. 31, like the most they'd scored in a month and a half, basically.
Had Iowa State in trouble.
Craig Williams gets hurt.
The kick, Williams gets hurt, and then Iowa State had that long kick return that kind of flipped the field, so to speak. And then they were just hard. They were hard to handle from that point on.
1-point loss to Tech,
in a game where they just
23 points. And you beat K-State 32-31, and then 14 points against Oklahoma, 3 against Oklahoma. I mean, God, dude, did they crack 20 more than twice at all last year?
The only game they were embarrassed was Oklahoma State, correct? Was that the only game?
That was 42-3.
That got out of hand, and by that time, that team was toast. Yeah. They were mentally and physically toast, as we know.
But, I mean, they were lucky to cross 20 points last year.
Yeah.
In this age of college football, like, that's pedestrian.
Well, that's why you have a new offensive coordinator, a new quarterbacks coach, you have a new offensive line coach, a new wide receivers coach, and a lot of other new faces as well.
All right, Greg Barnes.